Adventures, it's Rachel and welcome back to Looking for Adventure Art, and today we have a super fun, easy DIY tutorial for you. This is something that I have been doing with my mom since I was a little kid, and today we are making some really fun and awesome money leis. I did do a little teaser photo at the beginning of the week for any of you who follow me on any other social media platforms, but I absolutely love this. I originally did this project as an 8th grade speech, a how-to speech, so I made it with my mom. I still have my money lei. It's not as beautiful as it once was, and there was a lot more money on at one time. Unfortunately, I did eventually break down and take some of the money off, but that was only about a year or two ago. You know, in becoming an adult, things get hard, but I absolutely love it. I still have some of the other pieces, but I think that it is a great gift for graduations, for birthdays, for any holidays, for back to school, for just because, you know, start a savings account. I don't know, but I love these. They're so much fun. But today I am going to be teaching you guys how to make one. And if you happen to be new here on the channel, think about hitting that subscribe button down below. So let's just jump right into it, and I cannot wait to show you my version. To get started, the things you will need are some 12 by 12 double-sided sheets of paper, some dollars, anywhere from 5s to 10s to 50s, whatever you choose, a paper trimmer, some ribbon in any color you choose that is 1/8 of an inch thick, some beads, and an optional thing that you can use to help you out is a beading needle or a regular needle. For step 1, you're going to need to take your 12 by 12 double-sided pieces of paper, and you're going to need to cut them by 2.5 inches and 6 1/8 inches. This is about the size of your dollar bill, and you can get about 6 of these per 12 by 12 sheet. So for my lei, I did 21 sections, and that means that I would need 42 pieces of paper. However, do keep in mind that you're not going to need that much paper because you're going to use dollar bills in some areas instead. Now, I decided to do every single one in dollar bills, so I only needed 22 sheets of paper. My middle one, I did 2 pieces of paper. So do whatever you want. You can add $5 bills or $10 bills or just have $1 bills. You can make them every other one, you know, has money on it, or you could make all of them have money on it. It's totally up to you. Once you have all of your pieces cut out, I have pre-stacked mine in the order that I want them in, but you don't have to do that. All you're going to do is you're going to take your piece of paper and your dollar bill, and you're going to accordion fold them back and forth until you have done that completely to both of them. Now, I am doing anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch to about 1/2 of an inch for the accordion fold, but it's up to you how tiny or large you want to accordion fold them. I just find that that works best for me. After I have both of my pieces accordion folded, I am going to take either some repositionable glue dots or adhesive, or you can definitely use some double-sided sticky tape, and I am just going to take my 2 pieces and putting glue dots on one side, overlap the 2 ends together and stick them, and then move on to the rest. So once I finish this, I will get back to you with the next step. Now that I have all of my pieces folded and taped together, I am going to set that off to one side, and I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to try and figure out how long I want it. Now, a good rule of thumb for me is normally I just take it and I just drape it around my neck and I see about the length that I want, and then I am going to double that and then add a little bit extra because you're going to want that extra room for any leeway if it ends up being a little shorter than you anticipated, but we are going to double it, which is why we need that length doubled. So once you figure that out, just cut that off, and then we are going to move on to our next step. For our next step, you're going to take your beads and you're going to just string them on your ribbon. I find that it is really helpful to pick beads that have a bigger opening so they can easily slide through the ribbon. Do remember that we are going to end up having 2 pieces of ribbon through them, so if they're too tiny, then they are not going to work. But thread them through and then leave them over more toward one end than the other. You don't want to put your beads in the center of your ribbon because you're not going to have enough room to be able to thread everything back through. So make sure that they're off to one side of the ribbon, and then just take that either beading needle or that regular needle, whatever you've preferred to use, and thread it onto the end with all of the extra length. Now that we have that needle on the end of the ribbon with the extra slack, I am going to thread it through my last 3 beads. I decided to use 3 beads to just kind of give me spacers and some weight at the top of it, but you can just use 1 if you prefer. And I'm going to thread my ribbon back through. Do not pull it through all the way or else the bead will just pop right off. But I'm going to leave a little bit of a loop. This is going to be what ties the one end to the other end in the back. And once I've threaded that through and made that loop, I'm going to just tie a nice knot and hold that bead in place. I'm going to continue threading through and tying a knot until all 3 of those beads are knotted and not moving. Now that I have my ends secure, I am going to take one of my taped and accordion folded pieces, and I'm just going to lay that right down and put that nice in center, and I'm going to take my ribbon that I am threading through over it so it will be sandwiched in between both pieces of ribbon, and then I'm going to thread through the next bead. I'm going to pull that bead nice and tight, and this is what's going to keep our little cute pieces of paper secure. Now that you're at the last 3 beads on the other side, you're just going to do what you did originally on the first side. So thread through that bead, tie a knot, then thread through the next bead, tie a knot in between that, thread through the 3rd bead, and tie a knot on both sides of that. You will have 2 ends just sticking out, and you can just knot them around that loop that we had already made, and that is how we're going to secure our money lei. Now that we have everything tied off, there is only one more thing to do, and that is to take some tape, either double-sided tape, or I just happen to use clear tape. I find that that works really, really well. And you're just going to then take that one end and fan it out, and then tape it together, and then do the same thing to the other side, and you'll have this beautiful just little accordion folded fan. It almost looks kind of flower-like, and just repeat that until you have done all of your little sections, and that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making this. I love it. I did mine in sort of fall themed colors because I am really excited for fall. It is one of my favorite seasons. But before we go, I do have one last question for you, and that is our question of the day. My question for you guys is, when would you give somebody a money lei? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you have to say. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for all the daily updates. And if you happen to make this or anything else on my channel, feel free to email me or tag me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or I don't know, whatever kind of social media-ness that you guys do. I want to see it. And don't forget, every day is a new adventure, so come back next time for a new adventure with us.